Good morning, everyone. This is Leah here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada, and I'm going to pop on this morning to create a little card for you using the stamp set from Our House to Yours. When I saw this stamp set in the new holiday catalog, I knew I had to have it just because, although it's a beautiful Christmas set, it's a great one for year-round. Just throw the word welcome on there and you've got a great card for somebody who's just moved into your neighborhood. This is a perfect stamp set for realtors for creating cards for congratulating their new homeowners. So just a really sweet little set. The card I am making today is a Christmas card. So we're going to just hop right into creating that. I'm going to move this box out of the way and grab our cardstock. So it's a lot of white cardstock today. I've created a card base. So this is an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of paper. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit wonky there with our focus. And then I scored it at 4 1/4 to create our card base. To go on top of that, I have a piece of paper that's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Good morning, Janice. And then I have another little strip of paper that's cut at 5 1/4, so it fully goes across, and then just 1 1/4 in depth. So we're going to actually get started with this small piece because we're going to be doing some glittering with this piece and want it to dry while we create the rest of our card. So just taking the very little piece and just going to tear down the edge here so that we create a little bit of a bumpy top, a little bit of texture there. And so there you have it. We've just created a little bit of texture across the top. Oh, see, Janice, when I saw this set, I didn't have to think at all. I knew I needed to have it. It's so sweet. All right, so the next thing we're going to grab is our shimmery crystal effects. So if you don't have shimmery crystal effects, you can use glue for this, but I find it doesn't work quite as well as the crystal effects works. Good morning, Danielle. So I'm going to take my crystal effects and I'm going to run a bit of it across the top, and I am going to like spread it around and make a thinner layer so it's not, you can put crystal effects on so that it really stays three-dimensional and puffy. That's not what I'm going to do with this today. I'm going to really spread it thin, but so that it's covering all parts of this little edge that I just tore. Now, you could stop right here and just leave it as is because this is the shimmery crystal effect, so it does have like a little bit of a glitter in it. And you could just use this to create like your shimmery snow, and you know, as long as you spread it nicely, it would turn out just fine. What I'm actually going to do, now that I have spread that crystal effects, I'm just going to go set this down on the side where it's not touching the table. What I'm actually going to do is grab an extra piece of scrap paper here, just so that I don't end up with glitter all over my workspace for when I'm finishing up this card. So I've just put down an extra piece of scrap paper. I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to grab our ice stamping glitter. And so you can see that it's super sparkly like ice, and I'm going to liberally sprinkle that across. And then tap off what I can back into the bottle. And now we have a really nice iced edge. We can give that another good tap just to make sure all the extra bits are going to come off. But you can see how by using the crystal effects, the ice glitter really stuck to that a lot better than it sticks to regular glue, I find. All right, now all this extra glitter, I'm just going to pour right back into our jar. There we go. So now I have a glitter-free surface to work on, and I have a really nice glittered border that we're just going to let sit on the side to dry. It actually doesn't take very long to dry. So now I'm going to take my smaller piece, my 4 by 5 1/4 piece, and I'm going to do some stamping on here, and I'm going to create like a little scene. So I'm going to start in the center of our card with a tree. I don't want it to really stand out like too harshly, so I'm going to use some crumb cake as the brown for this tree. So ink that. Now I am going to grab this for a moment just to get an idea for placement in height, because I want this tree to just fall below our snow line. And that's going to give me an idea for placement for the rest of the items that I put on our card front as well. So there's our tree. Actually, I'm going to need that ink again, so I'll leave that out. Now, I didn't deviate too much from some of the other samples I've seen in the catalog. I'm going to stick with the Bermuda Bay and the Granny Apple as the colors that I'm using for my house. I just think they look really nice as the kind of non-traditional Christmas colors. So I'm going to grab my house and ink that up. I do like these houses. I was a little bit worried, being that they're solid, that they wouldn't ink up very well and we'd end up with kind of like splotchy stamping. But I actually found, when I received them, I went and washed them, and that was the first thing I did, was wash them. And then since that point, I've gotten a really nice clear image stamping with these. So to wash them, I just took them over to my chamois and gave them a few good rubs on my chamois and a few taps there, and that kind of sorted it all out. All right, so this is the roof of my house, and I've inked it up with crumb cake. And now, because these are clear, you can actually see through to line them up pretty well. If you were concerned about this, you could use the Stamparatus, and that would work as well. All right, so there is our first house almost finished. Just gonna grab our Granny Apple Green, and we need to put a door on this house. So we've got a door on here. And there we go. All right, so there's our first house complete. Now I'm going to do my second house on the other side of my tree. I love that these all mix and match, and there's so many options for how you build the houses too. Oh, whoa, that was almost dangerous. That spun out the right way. All right, so there's our second house. And we'll put a nice big top on this one. All right. So yeah, anytime that you're working with kind of a more solid image, I do like to do some test stamps. I do like to clean my stamps, kind of give them a good scrub just to make sure that there's no film or anything on them. And we're going to get a really nice clear image, and it's worked really well with this stamp set. Okay, and here's our second door. There we go. So our houses are complete. Now we need to start doing all the fun little decorating bits. So the sentiment that I've chosen for this card is for some of my friends and family who don't live so close anymore, or well, don't live so close anymore because I moved. I still have lots of family and friends in Edmonton, and so although our homes are miles apart, and then for the second part, I'm going to stamp this down here on the base. The other nice thing about these is you can see through them to see if you didn't ink them up fully. Our hearts are next door. There we go. A little bit of black on my hand. That's not good. All right, I'm just going to grab my chamois. So for those of you who didn't know, you can use the chamois to clean more than just your stamps. If you are like me and tend to get your fingers in your ink pad, it won't actually remove all of the stain of the ink off your fingers, but it will remove any parts that might might stain your cards. All right, so I noticed that I still didn't ink that word up quite properly. So I'm just going to grab my black Stampin' Right marker, And I'm just going to fill in the rest of that letter with my marker. So sorry if you end up seeing the top of my head here. All right. There we go. All right. So that's the nice thing about stamping in black, is if you don't get it perfectly, you can fill it in with your Stampin' Right marker. All right, next thing is we're going to add these hearts, because I'm going to make it very visible that our hearts are still right next door by grabbing this adorable little heart chain like that, and then my nice little heart here, and then I've got 3 little hearts to fill in the space. All right, so with all of our hearts done, we just need to finish adding our snow and put our card together. So some of the snow that I'm going to add is with our snowflake sequins. I am just loving these. The little metallic parts, the little iridescent parts, and then of course the tiny snowflakes. All right, and actually I think before I add those, it's time to add our layer of snow at the bottom. So I'm going to do that with dimensionals, just to give this some depth. I'm pretty sure at this point, this the Stampin' Ice glitter is dry, but I'm still just going to try to not touch it, just so I don't knock any of the bits off. All right, so take the backings off. Yeah, this stamp set is super cute, Janice. And I love that it's got the 2 kinds of trees, the snowfall. You can create like little hillsides in the background, the smoke for coming out of the chimney. Like there's just so many little extras to decorate these up. Very, very sweet. All right, so perfect. So there's our little snow in front of our homes. And then for the added effect of all the snow that's falling, we're going to grab, good morning, Val. So I'm using my fine tip glue pen, and I'm just going to put the tiniest, oh, that was a little too big, oh well. I'm going to put the tiniest of dots in here for where I want my snowflakes. Okay, and with that done, I'm going to take this, and this keeps my glue from getting clogged. So there's like this little pin that you have to slide back in before you put the lid on. So that keeps that glue nice and fresh and without getting clogged. All right, now I'm going to pick out a bunch of my snowflakes. This is where using the putty end of that tool might actually come in handy. If I have it here, which I don't, I've got it packed up for a class. So I'm going to do this the hard way. Yeah, the pick anything, or the take your pick tool, that's what it's called. The take your pick tool would be super handy right here. Because these get a little bit static clingy as well, and stick to each other and stick to you, and yeah, but they're super cute. And yeah, I love the little snowflake shape. Oh, I got an extra piece in there. Let's pull that one out. There we go. All right, find a few more snowflakes here. All right, and this fine tip glue dries completely clear, so the fact that I have a little too much isn't an issue at all. It's not going to dry shiny or anything and kind of look weird on my card, so that's good. All right, last snowflake onto here. There we go. All right. Oh, there's little stars in there too. How cute. All right. Ah. Okay, this last little piece of sequins won't pick up. There we go. All right, so I've got my snowflakes added to my card. Now the last step is to put this onto my card front. And to do that, I'm actually going to pop it up again. Oh yeah, pointy tweezers would work really well too. Yeah, I'm having the trouble right now is that I'm getting ready for so many classes that I tend to have my stuff packed up in boxes recently to be ready to go off to wherever I'm going to teach. So I think I'm going to have to start getting more supplies. So I have supplies in my craft room and supplies all set for the road, which is not a point I thought I'd ever be at, but it's just becoming the reality lately. Even today for this video, I had to make sure that all the inks I needed were going to be out of boxes and where I could reach them. So yeah, I might have to start doubling up on some of the more common tools. All right, so there is our card. It's just the white on white. Oh, got a little bit of glue at the top. That'll dry and I'll be able to take that off. So there you have it. Fun little Christmassy card using from our house to yours. So I hope you liked that, and definitely I would suggest when you're using the ice crystals that you use them with the crystal effects. It just is far more successful for getting it to stick to the page and not have loose bits falling off. So have a wonderful day. There's a little bit of a surprise coming up next week. I think on the 21st they're going to share more details with us demonstrators about a little sale coming up. Not sure what's going to be on sale, but definitely check back on that. I'm going to have some more cards posted this week using this stamp set, so make sure to pop in and view those, and I'll see you next Wednesday for another Facebook Live. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.